Yeah, welcome everyone to this weekdays evening Ariba demo session. Over to you, Manoj. We can start with the presentation now.
Okay, yeah, thanks Nikita for the confirmation over here. So guys, welcome everybody over there to our demo session on Ariba over there. Now, I'm Manoj over here. I'm having of somewhere around 16, 16, almost 16. You can say 15.9 over there. That I will say rounded off to 16. 16 years of experience in SAP. Started my career as a SAP MM and SRM consultant over there. And for the last 8 years, I've been working in Ariba over there. I've done 6 implementation project over there. And along with that, I have also taken care of some of the support project. Not all of the 6 projects uh, was implementation. Some of them was also implementation plus support, which I have done over there. Along with Ariba, I am also a active learner for Fieldglass. So SAP Fieldglass solution also I have worked over there. So currently I'm working as a solution architect in a big four organization. Now, before we go into this thing, a few things. The goal of this particular training is very different. It's not to impart any theoretical knowledge to any of you guys. It's to basically impart hands-on knowledge. Now, what do you mean by hands-on knowledge or practical knowledge over there? The knowledge which will help you in working in your project. That means you will see there are a lot of guys who are very good in discussing about Ariba. They will talk about the theoretical points. They will talk about all the configuration steps. But when they will go to the project, that is where they will face huge amount of issue and they won't be able to solve it. Why? Because they are having good theoretical knowledge, but they are not having good knowledge on the project side. So this particular Ariba batches, we also do provide training for Fieldglass also over there. So both for Ariba as well as Fieldglass solutions, our sessions are designed in such a way that this will help you in your project. That means with this knowledge, once you complete the training, you go to the project, you can start your work. That's the first thing. So that is why if you see the screen over here, it's having an empty notepad. I guess if you go to any theoretical training session, what will happen is like a PPT will open up with a very good logo, with a very good image over there, with a neat diagram as well as the workflow also over there. But none so is there in our session. Empty notepad. Why? Because we are having that exposure. You will see shortly, I will be filling up this notepad with our exposure. So these sessions are nothing but the summary of the knowledge which we have gained during the project that we are basically imparting during these sessions. And these sessions, we are not doing it just right now. We are doing these particular sessions from 3.5 years ago. Exactly. Specifically from 2017. Yeah, almost at the end over there, I will say in September 2017 we basically started. Okay, so almost like 3.5 years, a little bit more than that, but 2000 plus participant has been actually been trained by us on this part. So that is why all of you guys are going to basically see this demo in a very different way. Why? Because our methodology is different, and few things which we follow over here, we wanted to make sure that not only this demo but the whole sessions are organized in nature. Organized in nature means, Manoj, what are you talking about? I'm talking about it should not become a market. It should not become a bazaar kind of thing where everybody is shouting on top of another voice over there. No, it has to be very smoothly done. And you can say that we have conducted a lot of smooth based sessions over here. Why? Because we are doing this thing for the last 3.5 years over there. So that is why I will ask all of you guys, if you're having queries in between, please write it down in a notepad. Open up a notepad, empty notepad, and there you can type in your queries, or you can write it down in a notebook. We will have a question answer session. Okay, once we complete the content, then we will have the question answer session over there. So at that moment, you can basically ask me over there. Same thing for every session. Every session will have a content part. Once the content has been taught, then basically we will have a question answer session. Exactly. So if you're having any queries, please write it down. We are going to take those particular queries when our content is completed over there. Exactly. Now let's begin our session. So first and foremost thing, what is Ariba? Manoj, I don't want to go into all these technical things. Why? Because I don't want to read SAP Press book, 750 pages. I think all of you don't have time to read that SAP Press book, 750 pages, to understand what is SAP Ariba. Neither you have time to read what? You have time to basically read the configuration guidebooks. Why? Because those configuration guidebooks, if you try to read, each of these configuration guidebook is 500 pages, 800 pages, 1000 pages. So from your project exposure, explain us what is Ariba. So I will say procurement based or procurement focused software relying on cloud services. Exactly. Now, I do understand that majority of you guys understand about what is on cloud services and what is basically your procurement focused software over there. Exactly. So a lot of people, lot of participants, when they come into our session, they basically say to us that Manoj, like, when we are talking about this Ariba, explain us the difference between Ariba and MM. Then I will say, what is MM? MM is a software? No, it is not a software. So what it is? It's a module. Acha, very good. Module of what? Module of ERP. Exactly. So what is the function of ERP? Procurement? No, managing the full business process of or enterprise business process of the whole client. Procurement is one of them. Exactly. So keep this thing in your mind. So what is ERP? ERP, we are talking about all the business process like FI, HR, procurement, HD, all these things. But if you look at Ariba, Ariba is a procurement focused software. So in a short, if you try to compare Ariba with another solution, my suggestion is compare with SRM. Now, most of you might have heard about SRM over there. Exactly. So SRM also connect with MM over there. SRM is also a procurement focused software, but it is a on-premise solution. On-premise solution means what? Which can be installed in the client's application server. On cloud server means what? Or on cloud services means what? That means the software is installed in application server, which belongs to the what? Service provider company. In this case, SAP itself. It does not belong to the client. Okay. So that is the thing. So never compare Ariba with MM. If you want to compare Ariba with SRM. That's the thing. And what is the major difference? All of you will say this, that, this. But I will say the major difference is SRM and Ariba. SRM is following on-premise model. Ariba is following on-cloud model. That means the whole technology, the whole architecture of SRM is very, very different from Ariba. Exactly. So those of you guys who are thinking that Acha Manoj, I want to basically migrate from SRM to Ariba. That won't be a technical upgrade. Exactly, that won't be a technical upgrade. That will be a greenfield implementation. Some of the data will be basically replicated from your SRM to Ariba over there, but it won't be a technical upgrade. It will be greenfield implementation. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Very good. Now, okay, Manoj, let's talk about the solutioning part. SAP Ariba is having two solutions: upstream solutions, okay, sorry, B, downstream solutions. Please explain us what do you mean by upstream solution, what do you mean by downstream solution. And here, lot of Ariba functional consultant talk about something which you will not understand. Upstream solution is where we are doing strategic procurement and other activities. Okay, very good. What you're doing in downstream, we are doing operational procurement, day-to-day procurement. Are bhaiya, what is this? Are you giving me an answer or are you asking me another question? If I'm asking a question, you should give an answer rather than asking me another question. So this is the meaning which is coming over there. So Manoj, can't you use your knowledge from the project to define what is upstream, what is downstream solution? Of course, that is what we are doing in this session. So whenever you will go to Ariba, Ariba will always divide your procurement into two things: new products and old products. Okay, what is new product? Never procured before. Acha, old product means? Okay, procurement has been done for this particular product. Okay, so what's the issue over here, Manoj? The issue is when you say that you have not procured a product before, what will happen? Now, guys, that's a very good question that some of you have already gone through my demo over there. Very good. My suggestion is stay over here a little bit. Why? Because yes, you might have gone through our demo over there, but remember, the thing is like today's session is an important session. Why? Because you can reinforce your knowledge over there, even if you have gone through our demo session once before over there. Yes, lot of our participant basically, some participant will basically come from one batch to another batch over there. So what will happen is like in one demo we will have quite a few participants over there. Some of them will join, some of them will come to the next demo over there, then join our batch. So it's not an issue over there. But what I will suggest is like wait for it. And if you want to know about the course duration, the course fees, and all those things, just get in touch with our business relationship executive BREs over there. Okay, like Nikita, Sana, Krishna, Dipali, Durga. They are our sales consultant, so they will basically give you more details about it. Exactly. But I will suggest please do stay in our session. Why? Because you are going to uh, get your knowledge reinforced over here. Exactly. Now, new product and old products. Okay. Never procured before. Never procured before means what? Source of supply is not present over there. So what do you mean by this particular terminology? The source of supply is not present over there. So source of supply is not present means basically you can say that means the supplier, the price, all those particular things you don't know about it. Okay, very good. And when you basically say old product means what? Source of supply is known. Yes, because you have bought it over there. You have procured it over here. Very good. Now, actually, there is no term like new product or old products over here, guys. I have used it just for your reference so that you can understand it very simply. Actually, in Ariba, you are having this product, non-catalog items. That is basically new product, and old product basically means catalog items. Okay. So what's the issue, Manoj? The issue is downstream means what? Downstream means we are referring to the P2P cycle over here. P2P cycle means procure to pay cycle. Now, what is the starting point for P2P cycle? All of you will say purchase equation. Very good. In purchase equation, there can be a lot of mandatory fields, but one of the mandatory field, few of the mandatory field is supplier, price, and line item. That means what? Source of supply must be known. That means for catalog item, you can directly come into downstream solutions and do the procurement. Why? Because if you know the source of supply, then only you can go ahead and work on what? Work on the PR creation. Plain and simple. Exactly. But on the other hand, if you're going to have a look at upstream solutions, upstream solution means what? Upstream solution means we are talking about sourcing, project, contracting over there. So it is basically used to deal with non-catalog items. Why? Because non-catalog item cannot be used in downstream solutions directly. Why? Because source of supply is not present. Source of supply means we don't know what is the price of the product. What is the supplier? Who is the supplier over there? So that is why what we will do for non-catalog items, we will what? We will find the base source of supply and finalize it in upstream. And for downstream, for catalog items, what we will do? And pay for it. Acha, not, sorry. Pay for it over there. So this is the difference between upstream solutions and downstream solutions. Okay. So in upstream solution, what we are trying to do, acha, non-catalog item, we don't know what is the base source of supply. So what we will do, we will find out the base source of supply and finalize it. Very good. But for catalog item, where the source of supply is already present, what we will do, we will go to the downstream. Now, a lot of Ariba participant ask me, Manoj, why Ariba has designed this upstream solution and downstream solutions over there? This is the major reason why Ariba has designed upstream solution and downstream solutions. So whenever you will have a non-catalog item, you will go into the upstream solution. When you will have a catalog item, you will go to downstream solution. Plain and simple. Now, some of you guys who are basically from background of Ariba, you will ask me, Manoj, in downstream, we can create a non-catalog item. In downstream, we can create a PR with non-catalog item. Very good. Now, how many of you guys can basically, when you join your organization, can you get a new Apple MacBook Pro 16-inch laptop? the top model, which will cost you somewhere around 3,500 or 4,000 USD. 4,000 USD. How many of you can order it? Not personally, professionally. How many of you can order it? Now, why I'm asking this question? Because we are damn sure almost 95% of us cannot order it. Why? Because we will be provided Lenovo laptop, HP laptop, Dell laptop over there, but not those laptops. Why? Because that is exceptional procurement. If you're having a urgent issue, or let's say you are a vice president or a CEO, then yes, you can say 4,000 USD laptop I will use, and your company will agree with you. But if you're not having an urgent thing and you are just a normal guy over there working as a normal employee, you will not get that top model, that 4,000 USD laptop. So this is the example of a exceptional procurement. Now, when you say to me in downstream, I can basically add a non-catalog item, select my own supplier, give my own price, same thing. Company is saying, boss, you can only take HP Spectre laptop, which is somewhere around 1200 USD, not more than that, or 1300 USD. But you want to reject that. You will say, I will create a non-catalog item and I will say Apple MacBook, 4000 USD, supplier Apple Corporations. When you will send the PR for approval, your supervisor will immediately reject, saying, boss, is there an exceptional requirement? Now, let's say you're working for a very big project and you need a Apple laptop to work on that. Then they will approve. But for all your requirement, all the time, can you say, I'm working on a very big project? Even if you're working for a very big project, I will not approve. Once in a while, I can approve. So that is an exceptional process. Exactly. And remember, exceptional process means 5% of the document process be used like that. 95% of the process, what will happen? It will not happen like that. For non-catalog item, you have to go to the upstream to find out the best source of supply. Why? Because tomorrow your company will ask you, Are bhaiya, how you have, when you've created a PR for non-catalog item, how you've decided this supply is the best, this price is the best, and this product is needed by you? You won't be able to give reason over there. But if you do the sourcing project, there you can say, see, boss, I have included this 5 6 suppliers over there. All the suppliers given the quotation. Based on that, I have selected the best quotation. Then company will say, okay, we do understand. So as a functional consultant, you have to understand what is a exceptional process and what is a day-to-day process. Exceptional process is 5% of the time. Day-to-day process is 95% of the time. So when you will go to a project, your solutioning part, your configuration part, your business process setup part will be for 95% of the process first. Once you do that successfully, then you have to look at the exceptional part. That is 5% of the process. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Now, okay, Manoj, we have understood the upstream solution and downstream solution from a project perspective. Let us expand our scope. Let us understand the different module present in upstream solutions. Sourcing project. So what is sourcing project? Sourcing project is used to find the best source of supply. Okay, Manoj. So that means we will use a sourcing project to find the best source of supply. Now, this is a little bit of interesting topic. RFI stands for what? Request for information. What does RFP stands for? Proposal. And auction basically means auction. Now, when you will create RFI, when you will create RFP, this is the question which the client will ask to every functional consultant, Ariba functional consultant. And that is where majority of the Ariba functional consultant will say, Array, RFI and RFP. First, we will go to RFI, find out the technical information about the product. Then we will come to RFP to take the price quotation. Very good. Why? Because the same policy we apply for process. Now, the first and foremost thing which I want to basically make sure that all of you guys are understanding it. And what is that thing? That boss, is not equal to Ariba. Is not equal to Ariba. So if you're coming to the Ariba sessions, first and foremost thing, because I also face the same issue, unlearn then only you can learn Ariba. Why? Because the processes are different. Configuration is totally different. Architecture is totally different. The process is also different. Excuse me. Why? Why, Manoj? SAP is developed by SAP. SAP Ariba is also developed by SAP. Wrong. Ariba on cloud solution was launched in 2010. That means it was developed in 2008, 2009. And Ariba was acquired by SAP in September 2012. So it was developed in 2008, 2009. At that time, Ariba was not an SAP organization. So it was not developed by SAP. So that is why its architecture, its processes, even what you can say, the configuration are totally different from SAP So please don't try to apply your SAP knowledge over here into Ariba. It will fail. Okay. Now, next question. When we will go for RFI, when we will go for RFP? Here, majority of the functional consultant, once I will tell them, okay, unlearn they will say, Acha Manoj, RFI means request for info means if it is a new product, I will go for request for information. If it is an old product, that means catalog item, I will go for request for proposal. Very good. Very good. Now, if you're saying that this is a very good thing, now I will come up with a very small explanation. And what is that explanation? Very simple explanation. Sourcing project fall in upstream solution. In upstream solution, we will be working with which type of item? Non-catalog item. We are never going to work with catalog item in upstream solution. That means in sourcing project, how you can say RFI is for non-catalog item, RFP is for catalog item. Wrong. Both RFI and RFP will be used for non-catalog item. Now, Manoj, this is again causing an issue to us. Why? Then how will I differentiate for a non-catalog item, whether to do RFI, whether to do RFP? Then I will say that answer lies in our first session. In our first session, we will understand. Today is the demo session. Our next session would be the first session. Then in that session, we will basically understand what's the difference between RFI and RFP. And both of these two things will be used for non-catalog item. And there we will basically understand what's the difference within that. Exactly. Now, once we have that particular thing in our mind, that means we have done the sourcing project. We know the base source of supply. What is the next thing? All of you will say contract. What is contract? It's a legal agreement between buyer and supplier. Very good. Now, we will understand what is contract authoring, we'll understand what is task completion. But before that, first and foremost thing, I will make you all guys understand what is DFS, what is ECA. Why is that? Because none of the trainer is going to talk about this thing. but this is the first thing which matters in your project. So before 2017, what used to happen is like Ariba used to follow DFS contract. Due to this technology, what was happening was like majority of the client was not able to use that technology. That is why what was happening, the contract management module was never implemented from the client side. All the other modules were basically implemented by the clients. Okay, Manoj, what to do or where to work over there? Answer is very, very simple. What's the answer now? The answer is Ariba came with ECA to resolve that issue. Now, why I am talking about ECA? Because since 2017, majority of the clients, when they are implementing contract management, they are implementing in ECA, not in DFS. Very good. So what's the issue, Manoj? Why majority of the guys don't want to talk about DFS versus ECA? Because they will teach you the DFS contract. They will teach you the DFS contract template configuration. So in upstream, whether you're working with sourcing project or contract, both the configuration will be done within the template. Yeah, it's a specific thing in Ariba. You will have sourcing project template, you will have contract templates, there you have to do the configuration. Now, the funny thing is the contract management process. If you want to work on contract, DFS contract is very, very different from ECA contract. They are not compatible with each other. Okay, not an issue. So that is basically end user will look after that. What's the issue with us, Manoj? The issue is the template, the contract template, DFS template versus ECA template. DFS template is not at all compatible with ECA template. So since DFS template is not at all what important for, or basically compatible with ECA template, what will happen? You will learn DFS, very good. You go to the project, there everything is in ECA. Configuration is in ECA, process is in ECA. So you will get a dual shock. What is happening over there? I am not able to do anything on the contract. So in our session, both the process as well as the template configuration on contract, we will see it in ECA only. So that when you go to the project, there you are not left with a nasty shock or nasty surprise. You won't get. You will see everything what we have seen in our session and the same thing happening in the project. Okay, now next. Once that has been done, we will talk about supplier onboarding. Now, all of you will say to me, Manoj, supplier onboarding should be our starting point. Then I will say, no, I beg to disagree with all of you guys. Why is that? Because supplier onboarding is about integration. Plus, you have to keep something in your mind. And what is that thing? That is basically in Ariba, you are having one buyer portal. Okay, all of you will say, Manoj, what is the meaning of buyer portal? Where buyer will log in. And same thing for supplier. Supplier will not log in into Ariba buyer. They will log into supplier portal, Ariba network. Acha, so Manoj, that means supplier will log in into somewhere else. And I will say exactly correct. Where they will log in Ariba network. So that means extra step. So supplier onboarding in SRM and in MMEBC, it's a one-step process. But in Ariba, it will be 3-step. Now, what we do in supplier request. So when we are saying that we are doing the supply request, we are capturing some basic information about the supplier in Ariba buyer. Then in supply registration, what we are doing, Manoj, we are basically doing what over here? We are asking the supplier, "Arey bhaiya, you registered in Ariba network. If you don't register in Ariba network, what will happen is like your ANID will not be generated. And since your ANID is not generated, we cannot use you." That means like if I want to send a transactional document to you, an ANID is important. If I don't get the ANID, what will happen? I cannot send it to you. Plain and simple. So in supplier registration, we will ask the supplier to register. Now, what is the meaning of supplier qualification? I will only give a part reply right now. We will basically qualify a supplier against a commodity code and region. But there is another hidden meaning beside it. So we will understand that shortly. But first and foremost thing, all of you will say, "Manoj, we have basically worked on the contract. This contract is published, sent to the supplier, very good. So when I can consume this contract? Consume this contract means I can take the reference of the contract and create a PO against it." Now all of you will be shocked to know that in Ariba, upstream solution is having separate database. What do you mean by this thing? Then I will say to all of you guys, all of you will say, "Acha." So that means, Manoj, you're talking about the upstream database. Upstream database will have what? A separate database, and downstream solution will also have its own separate database. Exactly. That means what? How will you work on this thing? It will be an issue for all of you guys. And I will say exactly correct. So how we will basically resolve this issue? Because that is also an important thing for all of you guys to remember. So database, upstream solution is having its database. Here the contract is basically present over there. But this contract is not available in downstream. Why? Because downstream is having its own separate database. So for that particular thing, we need a bridge, right? Bridge through which the data will pass from one database to another database. Okay. And what's that bridge? That bridge is basically called as contract compliance. Through which the contract will move. Now, before you do this activity, this contract compliance activity, you have to do this supplier qualification. Why? Because through the contract compliance, what will happen? Your contract will move from upstream to downstream. And if you say that, "Manoj, I want to move the contract from upstream to downstream," what's the issue? Supplier qualification means what? Before supplier qualification, is supplier onboarding is basically SLP module. SLP module is part of Ariba upstream. That means till registration, your supply is created in upstream. I need to basically replicate the supplier in downstream. Otherwise, how I will send this contract into the downstream? So how I can do it? Supplier qualification. So when I will basically qualify that supplier against a particular commodity code and region, what will happen after some time? There will be a background job. that will basically move the data from upstream to downstream. Okay, Manoj. Acha. So this data is basically moved from upstream to downstream after the supply qualification is done. Exactly. That means the supply is available in the downstream. Now you can go ahead and do this contract compliance. Why? Because the supply is available in the downstream. This contract can be moved from upstream to downstream. Very good. Now, let us go into downstream solutions. Downstream solution means always all of you will say P2P. Correct? So P2P beginning process is what? Purchase equation. P2P starting process is purchase equation, then PR approval. This means PO will get created and it will be sent to the supplier where in Ariba network. Next what? ASN. Advanced shipping notification will be created by the supplier. Then what? GR, or in other term receiving. In Ariba terms it is receiving. Okay, very good. What next? Invoice creation. Very good. After that, what next? Invoice reconciliation. Very good. After that, what next? Payment. Very simple, Manoj. But then I will ask to all of you guys how you're creating the PR. So all of you will say to me, catalog items. From the catalog items only we are creating the PR, right? Why? Because downstream solution means catalog item. Very good. What type of catalog item? How many types of catalog items is there? Now I know theoretically all of you will say to me, static catalog, punch out catalog. Wrong. When you will go into the project, the first and foremost thing which you're going to understand is catalog item are of two types. Contract catalog items and non-catalog contract items. So the process will be same, Manoj, correct? Same process over there. So why you're telling there is a difference between contract catalog item and non-contract catalog item? Yes, there is a huge difference. Why? Because non-contract catalog item is loaded in catalogs within downstream solutions. Okay, what impact it is having, you will understand slowly. And contract catalog item, what's the issue with them? This actually is manually loaded. This is automatically loaded through now you understand. Now you're understanding what's the difference. Contract catalog item means those contract which has been moved from upstream to downstream with the help of contract compliance, they will be called as contract catalog item. Those catalog item which have been loaded directly into the downstream, they will be called as a non-contract catalog item. So if I ask all of you guys, what does this particular process represent? Ask this question to all the senior Ariba consultant. They will say P2P. I will say wrong. This is P2P, but this is not P2P. This is called as S2P. Now all of you will call, what is S2P, Manoj? You go into Ariba job market, search for the market over there. There you will find one thing. And what is that one thing? S2P, source to pay. mandatory knowledge on source to pay, mandatory experience in source to pay. Majority of the Ariba consultant don't know what is source to pay process. They will say procure to pay process and source to pay process is same. Why? Because it looks like same, but actually their source is not same. See, P2P is a downstream related process. Everything from the loading of the catalog item till the ending is happening in the downstream part. But on the other hand, if you look at S2P part over there, what is the meaning of it? Contract. Before the contract, what? Sourcing project. So that means S2P process will only work in those client who has taken the subscription of upstream plus downstream, which majority of the client right now, if you go into the market, they will have upstream and downstream solution both. Why? Because they want to implement S2P process. Lot of functional consultant, when they will come to our integration scenario session, they will always ask me, Manoj, I want to move the contract, I want to move the sourcing project to RFP. Then I will say, why? Those things are generally done when your client is only taking upstream solution. But your client, he was saying upstream and downstream both is there. They will do the S2P process. They will not send the sourcing project and contract from Ariba to ERP. They will create the sourcing project in Ariba upstream, create a contract in Ariba upstream, and through the contract compliance, they will move it into downstream. And there, they are going to create this PR and PO against this contract. That means they will use it over there. There, all the integration will happen. Acha, 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 acha. So that means, Manoj, you're talking about that how the client has taken the subscription. Based on that, the integration scenario will change. Of course, lot of Ariba consultant, when they come to our demo session, they say to me that, Manoj, why you're not opening up the screen? Why you're not showing in the screen? Because I want all of you guys to have at least a basic idea what we are doing in the session. When I will say we are teaching you S2P, you don't know what is S2P, you're coming into the first session. What will happen? You know about the Ariba screen, but you don't know what is S2P. My life will be very tough. Exactly. As a trainer or as a mentor, my role is to make sure that all of you guys, when you're coming into our session one, you're having a basic idea what we are going to teach in our session. If you're not having the basic idea, that means what will happen is like you are also not clear, I am also not clear. End result, nothing. You're good in theoretical knowledge, but not good in practical side. So that is why in our first session, that means the demo session, not actually first, the demo session, we will never go into the system. Why? To basically make you understand, Acha, these are the things which we are covering. Acha, S2P we are covering. Very good. What is S2P? Now all of you will understand what is S2P over there. Acha, Manoj, so when you say S2P you're covering in the session, that means this solution, sourcing project, then contract, this through the contract compliance, this contract will move from upstream to downstream. Then against that contract, we will create a PR, PO, GR, invoice, IR, payment. This is S2P, upstream plus downstream. What is P2P? P2P, everything is happening in the downstream. We are loading the data in catalog section within the downstream. Then PR, PO, GR, invoice, IR, payment, everything is happening in downstream. Acha, this is the thing which we are covering in the session. Exactly. That is why. Now, very good. Apart from that, what we are going to understand, as I said to all of you guys, template configuration. What we will do in the template configuration over there? Template configuration means business rule configuration. If you want to do any config on the business rule side, we have to do it over here. Approval configuration, where once again in template, in upstream side. What next? Task config, and then basically conditions config also. Okay, all these things you can do it in the template in upstream side. Very good. What about in downstream side, Manoj? So here we will also basically have a look at how to loading data in catalogs, bracket catalog manager. What's the next thing? Loading data in catalog manager, then catalog configuration. What next? Next, basically approval configurations, etc. Now, another thing, report config or reporting configuration. Here, all of the Ariba functional consultant, what they think, we are having standard report. Standard report is more than enough. Boss, how you are going to work with the standard report? Your client is saying, add 3 custom fields over there. Within those custom fields, add 3 custom formula. So for that particular thing, Manoj, we have to do technical changes. Acha, who will do the technical changes? Because Ariba is an on-cloud solution, not us. Then who will do it? Ariba engineering team. That means the employees of Ariba who is working in the engineering department. So you have to create enhancement request. Each of the enhancement request is chargeable to the client, 4,000 USD. So when you will say for every requirement of the client, custom field, custom formula requirement, Ariba is going to charge $4,000 for them. Suppose they are having 50 requirement in reporting. Now you can do the math. 50 into 4,000. Correct? 50 into 4,000. What will happen? You will all understand this particular thing over there. Too much, 200,000. So is it like that, Manoj? Then I will say no. So who can do it? We can do it. So I will basically show you how to do those customizations and configuration over there, including custom field configuration, including custom formula configurations, all those things. Next, I will also show you how to automate and schedule to run in background. All those particular step one after another, I'm going to show you. Okay, exactly. So please keep this thing in your mind. It's a very important stuff for all of you guys to consider over there. Exactly. So please keep this thing in your mind. Okay, very good. Now, what's next? All of you will say to me, integration. Now, once you say to me integration, all of you will say integration configuration. And I will say wrong. Wrong. Why wrong? Because first and foremost thing we have to understand, integration basically means we have to understand integration scenario. Why? Because if you can't understand what is the integration scenario, just for example, what's the difference between P2P and H2P? If you don't understand, how will you understand that P2P integration scenario will be different and H2P integration scenario will be different? Yes, they are totally different. Now, integration, how it will happen? Master data integration, and this one is transactional data integration. So PO will be created in which system? In Ariba system or in ERP system? If you say ERP, why ERP? If you say Ariba, why Ariba? You have to decide. You have to know the pros and cons over there. So that is basically what we are going to understand first. If you know the integration scenario, that means PR, PO, GR, invoice, IR, payment, where it is going to be created and in which system it is going to be replicated. If you know that thing, 70% of your work in integration is completed. As an integration consultant, that is 70% of your work. So that is what we are going to see in the integration scenario. What is the next thing? Basically, we are going to understand the mass data loads. What is the mass data load? You have to load the master data manually in Ariba. Huh? Manoj, why? We are having the automated master data integration, which will load the data from ERP to Ariba. Then why we have to manually work with CSV file to do this manual data loads in an integrated Ariba system? Then I will say exactly correct. In every integrated Ariba system, you have to do this mass data load. Plain and simple. If you don't do this activity over there, what will happen? There are certain master data which are not present in ERP, which are only present in Ariba. For example, Manoj, purchasing unit, specific commodity code. These are only present in Ariba over there. So you have to load this data within Ariba. If you don't do it, your system will not work. Even for those Ariba system where it is has to be integrated over there. Okay. And the last thing basically which we are going to see is integration configuration. Okay, Manoj, very good. We are going to basically see the integration configuration. What kind of integration configuration we are going to see? CI9 versus CIG. Now, I know all of you will basically say to me, CIG, Cloud Integration Gateway is the most important thing. Cloud Integration Adapter 9, CI9. Which one to use? All of you will say CIG. But I will tell you guys after I show you the things, like what are the configuration steps for CI9, what is the configuration step for CIG. I will basically show you. After that, I will tell you the use cases of CI9, the use cases for CIG. Exactly. So that has to be known. If you don't know these things, this will lead to issues. Exactly. Be very clear on this part. Okay. Keep this thing in your mind. So this is what we are going to see in our session, guys. Nothing else. Okay. Now, basically, what we will do, we will take a small break. Yeah, this break will be for 10 minutes over there. Once we come back from the break, we will basically show you that as part of the training, what other documents, what other recordings which we are going to give it to you. Yeah, the supporting things. Once we show that thing after we come back from the break, then we will have the question answer session. You can ask me any queries over there. Exactly. So my suggestion is please wait out. The session has been not been ended over there. Yeah, the session is going to continue. We are going to take a 10 minutes break. After that, we are going to continue with our session. Exactly. So please don't log off over there. Yeah. So let's take a break over here, guys. And after the break, we will basically continue with our session. Yeah. Let's take a break over here, guys. Thank you. The break will be for 10 minutes. Thank you, guys.
Hi, Manoj.
Yeah, hello Sana. Just give me a moment. Let me make you. Let me try to make you the presenter.
Okay, Manoj.
Yeah, yes, and I have made you the presenter. Now, guys, please pay attention over there. Why? Because we are going to basically share with all of you guys that this is the documents and the other things which we are going to share with all of you guys as part of this particular training program. Okay. Now, first and foremost thing, as you can see, this is the G Drive access which we will provide to you, all of you guys, when you will basically register for this particular session. So first and foremost thing is basically this G Drive access is for your whole lifetime. So when you will get this access over there, this access will be for the whole lifetime when you will get. That's the first thing. Second thing, as you can see, there are many folders over there. The first folder is the session recordings. So session recordings folders are basically what? So every session starting from demo, that means today's, and all the sessions when it will happen over there, what you can do, you will get every recording of every session uploaded in this GDrive folder. Why? Because all of you have to go through the recording of the session. That's the first thing. Second thing is, in the future when you will go to a project, my suggestion is, let's say you're going to work on contract, so my session will be to all of you guys, go through the contract management module which we have covered in our session, go through the recordings, then you work on that particular thing in the project. It will give you hell lot of confidence and you can work on those things very easily. So this reference for the what, for the recordings will be provided to all of you guys over there. Exactly. Now, Sana, can you please go back to the main path over there? Then the next thing basically which you guys are going to see is the Ariba access. So all of you guys are going to get Ariba access over there. This access will be for 60 days. That means for 2 months over there, which we will provide over there. And it's not through the team viewer and all those things. Exactly. Second thing is, you will get the functional consultant authorization over here. That means you want to configure the template. Yes, you will have the role over there. You want to load the catalog items in the system. Yes, you will have it over there. You want to do the catalog configuration. Yes, you can have it over there. You want to basically do the approval workflow. Yes, you will have that access. You want to test out the scenario. You will have access to that. Super admin access cannot be provided to you. Why? Because super admin access has been specifically, you know, Ariba has asked us to not give this particular, what you can say, uh, access to anybody outside of our organization over there. So super admin access means, that means if you want to add a user, delete a user, change the role over there, that access, none of you will get it. Exactly. But all the functional things like template configuration and other things over there, configuration related things, you will get access. Exactly. Now, notepads. So as you can see in today's session, we have basically created a notepad over there. So for every session, we will have a notepad. So Sana, can you please go to the new notepad? Can you open up the catalog.txt? As you can see, there are a lot of points over there, guys. These particular points are basically available over here to all of you guys, and this notepad will contain a lot of points. Sana, can you scroll over there, scroll down over there? Yeah, as you can see, these are the notepads which we will basically use in every of our session. Exactly. So this particular thing we will upload it so that you can get this content documents over there. These are totally custom prepared by us. You will get access to it so that after the recordings, after you attend the session, you go through the recording, you can basically go through it over there. Okay. So can you just come out of this screen, this notepad screen, Sana? Go to the main folder. Okay. Now basically we are going into the documents over there. The document section is basically we are we have divided into upstream, downstream, and integration. So if you need to read any theoretical documents, that means configuration guidebooks, SAP place books over there on SAP Ariba, we have uploaded everything over there from the connect.ariba.com. You cannot get access to these documents outside over there. Why? Because unless and until you are having a corporate email ID and you're working with a partner employee of Ariba, you will not get that access. So that also we have uploaded over there. So you can find all this detail. Uh, Sana, can you please go to the upstream part over there? Can you just open up the upstream folder? So you can see all these documents we have basically uploaded over there. But remember, this is for your theoretical knowledge. If you want to increase your theoretical knowledge, then you will need it. But my suggestion is you don't need to basically increase it. But some participant will be like, hey Manoj, I want to also increase my theoretical knowledge. So you can basically refer to this particular documents. Main thing is your practical knowledge. If your practical knowledge is not good, you're not going to be able to work in your project. So that is why the sessions are very, very important. This can be your secondary point of reference. Exactly. Sana, can you go to the main uh, module over there? Huh. Now you can see the certification material over there. That means those of you guys who are ready to take the SAP certification, we have uploaded all the standard uh, reading document for the certification. We have also uploaded the dumps. That means those questions which has appeared in the SAP Ariba certification, so that you can practice it out. And when you will go into the certification, you can clear it in one shot. This is very, very helpful to those of you guys who can basically go into the certification part over there. Yeah. Sana, can you go back to the main folder? Next is Learning Hub videos. Now, Learning Hub videos is basically not required for majority of the participant, but some of you who are basically freshers. That means I'm not talking about just out of your engineering college, but what I'm saying is like you are worked in MM over there, but you don't know anything about Ariba. You want to build up a little bit of end user process flow knowledge over there, that particular thing knowledge you want to build up. So here we are having the audio and video from the Learning Hub part over there, which you can use to understand the end user process over there. Exactly. So here also we have provided the audio and video for that particular thing, guys. And the last thing is the sample CVs. So sample CVs basically is what? Sample CVs basically, here we have provided some very good CVs so that you can refer to all of them over there in preparing your CV also over there. Yeah. Why? Because a lot of participants don't know how to prepare the CV. So they will write something which is very wrong. To avoid it, we have provided you the reference CV over there. Now, Sana, can you do one thing over there? Can you open up a recent batch over there, batch folder over there? Yeah, recent one. This one only. That would be much better. Why? Because there will be certain participant over there who will basically say, hey Manu, this is like, you know, 2 years old over there. So that means the last session which happened, it was 2 years ago. No, guys, see, as you can see, this is a recent batch over there. 18th May 2021 batch over there. You can see all the document over there. See, May 26, 2021. Yeah. So we are having multiple batches in Ariba as well as in Fieldglass too. So we are doing these sessions over there. Just for your reference, we were using the old GTI folder access, but remember now you can see we are having all number of batches over there. And yes, other batches are ongoing. Some new batches are also being formed over there. So you can basically see 23rd May batch over there. So we are having multiple batches over there. It's not like just for the sake of showing this is an old G-Drive folder access why you're showing. That is just for showing purpose over there. But yes, we are having this access for recently this particular sessions also. Exactly. So thanks Anna over there for helping us in showing this particular documentation, which we will basically share with all of the guys. Not only the documentation, the rest of the things also over here. Okay. And now basically, yeah, thanks very much over here, Sana. Yeah. So now basically, guys, we will proceed ahead with the question answer session. So if you're having any question, please do raise your hand over there. Now, how you can raise a hand? You can see in the Go to Training app, At the left hand top side, there is a small hand over there. You can click on it and I will know it. Yeah, Sandeep, can you please go ahead with your query?
Hello.
Sandeep.
Yeah, I'm audible, right? Yes. Hi, Manoj. This is Sandeep. Actually, want to know the difference between the Ariba Snap implementation and normal snaps. Is it only difference in the implementation methodology, or as per the configuration also it differs? I just want to know.
Okay, so first of all, Sandeep, two things over there. So the thing is like the normal Ariba, when we are talking about it over there, normal Ariba is basically the normal Ariba over there. We will use agile methodology over there. Okay, Sandeep, can you just be on mute over there because there is some background knowledge coming over there. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I will basically ask you to unmute when you will be asking your next query. Meanwhile, let me give you the answer. So the normal Ariba over there is what? It's basically the sourcing, the contracting. These things are basically B2B, H2P. This is basically the normal Ariba over there. Now, there are certain clients who are basically advanced users of procurement over there. So what they will say is like, I want to basically have a advanced implementation of Ariba. So that particular module is basically, or implementation is called a Snap. Now, lot of people basically in Ariba methodology, they will say Snap is just a methodology. It's wrong. There is no methodology called a Snap over there. Okay, you can say Agile. Some of you can say SAP Activate, but in our project, we will never use SAP Activate. We will always use Agile. That's the first thing. Second thing is Snap. What you can call as a Snap, I will call it as a uh, subscription of advanced modules in Ariba, where your sourcing project will be replaced by tactical sourcing. Normal classical UI will be replaced by the guided buying UI over there. Instead of the normal catalogs, that means the non-contract catalog item, it will be replaced by the spot buy catalogs, which is automatically loaded into your Ariba system over there from a few specific standard supplier. So if your client is basically willing to go for those advanced modules, then what will happen? They will buy a Ariba Snap subscription over there. Generally, Ariba Snap subscriptions is also integrated with Fieldglass for advanced services procurement over there. So those client who are basically using Ariba for, let's say, some 4 or 5 years over there, now they want to go into the advanced part of procurement over there, and they want to carry those particular functions out in the system over there. They will go ahead with Ariba Snap. Those of the guys who are just, or the client who are just implementing Ariba, they will go ahead with the Ariba normal, what you can say, uh, solutions over there. As of now, Ariba Snap is not used in a huge percentage over there. Somewhere in the range of 11 to 14% is being used all over the world as of now over there. So if you want to learn Ariba, first learn the normal Ariba, then you can go ahead with Ariba Snap over there. So that is basically the thing. Sandeep, that's the difference between a normal Ariba and Snap, Ariba Snap.
Thank you, Manoj.
Yeah. Any other queries, Sandeep? You can go ahead and ask me.
No, that's all from my end.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sandeep. Yeah. Sayed, can you please go ahead with your query?
Okay, now it was a wonderful session. Thank you very much, Manoj. I learned a lot of things. Couple of questions. Number one, that is the access that you're going to provide for Ariba. Is that going to be 24/7?
Yeah, it will be 24/7 into 60 days.
Wonderful. So I will have my own username and I can create objects and carry on with the integration and all the 9 yards of it. Correct?
No. See, once again, as I said, the configurations which I have basically focused in our session, like the template configuration over there, the integration, sorry, not the integration, the catalog configuration, the approval configuration, these things over there. But we will not provide a ERP system over there. Only
Agreed.
Ariba Buyer Access and Ariba Network Access.
Okay, so that means I cannot see if there is a PO created through Ariba. I cannot go back to ECC or say S4 HANA and see whether the PO is created or not.
Exactly. So this is, you are not going to basically see it in anywhere, provided you are going to work in a project. So if you go and work in a project, there only you can see it. But in a training system over there, you will not see it. Why? Because this access which we have got it from SAP Ariba itself over there. Since we are using it for training purposes, Ariba has basically prohibited us to integrate this thing with any of the other SAP component. Why? Because this is used specifically for training program over there. So that is
So
why
this will be
we
only
can
standalone.
provide. Yeah, it's a standalone kind of thing, but we can basically use the CSV files to load the data over there.
Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. Now there are different. We talked of procure to pay. We talked of source to pay. There are other things as well, like spend management, strategic sourcing, contract life cycle management. I'm reading from a list. So
Yeah.
what about those things?
See, contract lifecycle management is basically nothing but there is nothing called as contract lifecycle management in Ariba over there. So it's basically called as contract workspace over there. And along with that, there's another model which is called as contract compliance. So strategic sourcing means what? Basically the sourcing project over there. So these are all of those things which we have basically shown over here in this sessions. These are the things basically which happens in your project, and same thing we are going to see in our session. So strategic sourcing, basically strategic sourcing is nothing. It's not a strategic sourcing. It's called a strategic procurement. Strategic procurement by default represent sourcing project over there. That's it. So that all of these things we are going to see in our session.
Okay. See, I'm very happy with what we are doing so far, but I just want to know what are the things that we are not going to be covering in this batch that we are holding.
SCC, supply chain collaboration, we are not going to basically cover. That's the first thing. And the Ariba Snap, that means the advanced Ariba, we are not going to cover in our session.
Whatever comes under that, and supply collaboration is also not to be covered.
Yeah, supply collaboration. See, we are not supply chain collaboration. We are not going to see in our session. Why? Because I am going to give a workaround over there, and the workaround over there is basically commerce automation over there. So the workaround is you can use a commerce automation rather than using SCC over there, which is much better. So that means even if you go to a project where SCC is required, you can go ahead and work with the commerce automation. That is our workaround over there. So you can say for normal Ariba, we have covered 100% of the things. In fact, a workaround for SCC is commerce automation, that also you can use. Advanced Ariba, that's a different thing altogether.
Okay. The duration of the course?
The duration of the course is around 40 hours. Around 40 hours.
40 hours. So how are we going to spread it out? It's going to be...
Since it's a weekday session, so we are going to have sessions from Monday to Thursday, 2.5 hours each day.
Okay, 2.5 hours each day, 2.5,
exactly.
And therefore and total is 40 hours.
Yeah.
And this is Monday to Thursday.
Monday to Thursday, sometimes also on Friday, depending upon the the work which you're having over there. Sometimes what will happen is like if the requirement is not requirement, actually, if you're going through something good over there, we will have our session on Friday. Sometimes if the workload is less, so from Monday to Thursday we will have it. So that is how we will have the session.
How many students do you have in the class? How many students how many students maximum do you enroll in one session in a batch?
That will depend on each batch to batch over there, but in a weekday session we will have somewhere around 8 to 9.
8 to 9. Okay, that's manageable, because if it's a lot more people, then it's hard to ask questions. But anyway, 8 to 9 is good. All right. I'm very happy because you're giving me access 24/7. That was the most difficult part for me getting. I'm an SAP MM consultant with WM also, and wanted to learn this for quite some time. Now, with zero knowledge on Ariba and quite good knowledge on MM, what are my chances of landing into an Ariba job in US?
Okay, so first and foremost thing is like you have to keep two things in your mind. That means like when you are trying to learn Ariba over there, you have to unlearn MM, try to learn Ariba over there. That's the first thing. Second thing is like because because this learning is going to help you a lot. Why? Because see, in US, if you look at the market, it's steadily improving.
Yeah.
It's steadily improving over there. So we have basically trained a lot of people who are basically from US. Some of them are from Europe over there. And what is happening is like, yes, you will not get a permanent position directly. You will get a contractual position. As you know that in US, majority of the offerings are in contractual position over there. So that is the first thing which you have to keep in your mind. You're going to get a contractual position first. Second thing is, yes, you can very means like in a very normal way you can go over there. Certain things on your CV has to be changed over there. So that we are going to discuss in our last session. Okay, that what you need to put in your CV, what you should not be putting in your CV over there, and
If
we
I
have to be a
compare,
little bit diplomatic.
MM with Ariba,
Mhm.
which will give me a higher wages?
First and foremost thing, don't think about just a higher wages over there. Think about your career, not right now. What will happen after 10 years? What will happen after 15 years? Without thinking for a second time, you have to choose Ariba. That's the first thing. It's not about higher wages, it's about keeping your job and working on it and growing at the same time. That's why you have to go into Ariba. Why? Because MM means what will happen is like there are a lot of consultant present in the MM market over there. So there will be a lot of competition and it is an on-premise solution. And if you look at Ariba is an on-cloud solution. The market is developing over there, but the competition will be much less. And the Ariba is a on-cloud solution, so it's a future-looking software over there. So that means if you basically go in migrate from MM to Ariba, we have a lot of participant who is coming from MM. They are trying to migrate into Ariba. Why? Because that will give them the security in their job. They will have the growth in their job over there if they move. So this would be a sensible decision if you try to move from MM to Ariba over there.
But
That's the first
with
thing.
zero experience, is that easy with zero experience?
That is basically what you have to understand. You will be not be having zero experience.
Okay.
Why?
So your
Because
training will be equivalent to many, like 1 year of training, 1 year of
not
experience, you are saying?
no not 1 year, not 1 year. You can say 2.5 to 3 years.
Do you help in getting jobs, either in
No,
India or in America or anywhere
no,
else?
no. We cannot guarantee you of any job. None of you. Not only to
Okay.
you, Sayed, but for everybody. We cannot give you the guarantee over there. But yes, we are going to help you in preparing your CV. So that is why I said that these sessions, if you go from starting till ending, you understand this thing, you follow our methodology, what will happen is like you can justify writing 2.5 to 3 years of experience in your CV in the interview. Don't write 5 years. So what to write, what not to write. Basically, in our last session, I will basically put up some points, and based on that thing, you have to refer to the last shared folder, which we have shared in the shared drives, which all of you guys are going to get, and then you have to prepare a CV. So yes, I will also help you in giving the points over there, which to write, what not to write over there. But it won't be zero. You can basically justify 2.5 to 3 years, but don't try to write 4.5 to 5
I
years.
understand. Even in India here, if I look for jobs, they're asking for experience, and I think these are all for support jobs for Europe and America. That's the reason I
Exactly,
asked.
exactly. So yes, you can do that thing. So that is what I am saying, that this training is helpful in that particular purpose over there. Why? Because you would be able to justify your position that yes, you're having experience. Why? Because whatever we have done in our 8 years of exposure in the Ariba projects, that we are going to learn in this session. We are not going to learn what is the theoretical process, what is a contract. We are going to talk about, acha, this is a contract. So this kind of requirement will be given by the client. Okay. So how you are going to basically design a solution for that issue. And then when we will go to the template configuration, how that configuration will be done for that kind of issue for which the
See,
solution has been decided.
last question. Once the access for 60 days is over and I want to practice more, or say prepare for interviews, is there anything I can pay more and get extended this time period?
So that will be like, yes, you can get extended access, but it will pay per usage basis over there. You need to just get in touch with our, uh, our sales consultant over there.
Your admin team, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. They will basically be helping you out over there. And yes, you can extend your access, but that would be chargeable.
Good. So can I expect a call from Sanna or one of your admin staff, or how do we go?
Exactly. They will basically get in touch with all of you guys. So they will basically ask your preference, and majority of you guys, I think if you are not having any issue with your time zones, I will suggest go ahead with the weekday session. Why? Because in weekday session, what will happen is like Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday, we will basically complete. Saturday, Sunday will be totally empty. So that means on Saturday, Sunday, whatever you want to do, you can do. And
Yeah.
you can also go through the recordings also. Aram se.
Good. I'm in India, so I prefer evening time. Indian evening time, like what time we had today is fine.
Yeah.
So let's
So
see how
then
it
it's
goes.
good. Why? Because we are having multiple sessions over there. See, this sessions we are having mostly from India, and some people will be coming from Europe over there in this particular time zones over there. Weekends also we are having session, but weekends basically will be for the US people over there, US, Australian, New Zealand over there. Why? Because we will be having different time zone for them. They will be coming up over there.
Good. I'm done with my questions. Thank you very much. I'll mute myself and carry on.
Yeah. Thanks, Sayed. Yeah, Venkat, can you please go ahead with your query?
Hi Manoj, this is Venkat.
Yeah, Venkat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay. Actually, I have 2.5 years experience in operational working domain, where recently we have been moved to SAP Ariba, where I was working on guided buying and invoicing. So in that part, right, we raise purchase requisitions and we check approval flow and till invoice get generated. So that part I have an idea as an end user, kind of, as you said, from upstream solutions, downstream solutions. I don't have any in-depth knowledge.
Okay.
So I want to grow my career in SAP Ariba. So I just want to know whether I'm fit for this course or what's your
See, first
suggestion?
and foremost thing, Venkat, I will suggest yes, you are fit for the course. Why? Because think of it, like you are already having access to Ariba over there.
Yes.
So you are saying as an end user. So you just need to change the profile from that of a end user to that of a consultant over there. So changing the profile won't be a tough thing. It will be very easy thing. That's the first thing. Second thing is you also don't have to change your job. So once you get the role, once you get the understanding over there, within that thing only you can basically ask your uh, employees over there, employer over there, that boss, please transfer my profile from that of a end user to a Ariba admin. They can basically make you the Ariba admin. That means in-house Ariba consultant over there. So in that case, you don't have to change the job also over there. Now, once you work on that particular thing for 1 year, 1.5 years, then you can very easily, very aram say, you can basically change out as a Ariba functional consultant and you can come into the service industry over there. So going into Ariba would be very, very beneficial to you. And you are not the only guy who is basically coming from the end user part in Ariba. We have basically trained a lot of guys who are coming from the Ariba end user part, and they are currently working as a successful Ariba functional consultant right now.
Okay. I mean, you're suggesting for end user guys, functional consultant job will be very easy, right? That's a basic
Exactly.
step.
Exactly. Why? Because you are already through with the process. Now
Yeah.
you need to basically understand how the solutioning is done, how the data is loaded, how the configuration happens. This step, if you understand, this will be like, yeah, you have to give a little bit of hard work. That is for everybody. Even those of you guys who are coming from if you want, as a functional consultant, if you want to learn Ariba, you have to give effort. Same thing for you, Venkat, also. You have to also give effort. Once you give the effort, see, it won't be tough for all of you guys over there. So in this case, you are already working in Ariba. So this will be advantageous to you.
Okay, I got it. I just want to know. I see spend management and source to pay. Some uh, links are there, so have gone through that, and I see
Hmm.
pie charts and upstream, downstream. Everything will be there, but I don't know the meaning of any these things. So I just want to know the knowledge. So I see
Exactly,
your
exactly,
session is very useful, and I'm looking forward to join. And
exactly, Venkat.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
thank you.
please go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to know this thing. I mean, being a knowledge in just 6 to 8 months. So will that be enough to get job in functional consultant?
Yeah, my suggestion is don't try to change out right now.
Okay,
Don't try to change it right now. First, learn this thing. See, for learning only, almost like 3.5 weeks it will take for us to complete the sessions. Okay,
okay,
almost like 1 month. Then after that, you have to also basically go through the recording. You have to practice another month. 2 months gone over here. Okay, so almost like you
okay.
can say 1 year exposure, experience you're having in Ariba
Hmm.
by that time. But
Yeah,
in that particular time, you can basically go to your employer and you can start, boss, I know about the configuration, I know about this thing, so make me the in-house Ariba consultant. A lot of money will be saved over there, correct? So you will work as a
yeah,
in-house Ariba consultant. In that case, what will happen is like your company will basically keep you as Ariba in-house consultant. Why? Because they don't have to hire people from outside.
yeah.
But for
Agree.
that, you need to basically show them that you're having the knowledge. Where you will get the knowledge from this particular training sessions. That's the first thing. Second thing, work on that particular Ariba admin or Ariba in-house consultant for 1 year at least. Next 1 year. Then you
Okay,
basically switch out to different organizations like Capgemini, Accenture, or Wipro or Infosys over there. So they will gladly accept you. Why? Because you have already worked in Ariba functional consulting part over there. So in that way, you can basically increase your salary also, get a pure functional consultant role in a service-based organization over there.
okay. That's all. Thank you, Manoj. I'm
Yeah,
clear now.
because the same thing we have basically asked all of those guys who are basically from the end user part in Ariba who have basically taken the training from us. Same suggestion we have given to them,
Okay,
and it has basically always worked over there. So that is why don't think about it. What will happen after the training? Right now, focus on the training. You have to basically give the inputs over there. That means just not attending the session. Attending the session is one thing, following through with the session is another thing. So you have to follow through with the sessions. You have to keep on learning, you have to keep on practicing over there, then only this will give a result.
okay. Thank you, Manoj.
Yeah, welcome, Venkat. Just a moment. Yeah, Sandeep, you are having any query?
Yes, Manoj. Actually, you are saying about integration apps, right? Like CNN and CIG.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I mean, integration part, so are you going to show us like what are the how to enable the CIG from the Ariba side and as well as ERP side, I mean ECC side, or you're going to show from only Ariba side? So
See,
you told
first of all, we are going to show it from the Ariba side. That's the first thing. And from ERP side, we are having a document. Within that document, what is happening is like from our project, we have taken the screenshot of every configuration steps over there, which has to be done over there. So what I will do from ERP side, whenever we are going to discuss what are the configuration steps which we need to see, I will open up that document. I will go to each of the screenshot, and there I am going to explain to all of you guys what are the steps which you have to do from ERP side. From Ariba side, we are going to see it in the system only.
And also like how to do the custom mappings like that.
Yes, custom mapping. See, custom mappings over there. Remember, there is two things over there. Custom mappings, which you have to do it. I don't follow the normal way of doing the custom mappings in CIG. Why? Because I think that custom mapping is wrong. So what I will do is like I will always do it in the bodies.
Okay.
Okay, that is what we are going to do. And the second thing is custom mapping is very easy in CIG. That particular thing, what will happen is like you just have to drag and drop the relationship between ERP
Yes.
and that of Ariba over there. So it's very easy over there. But
Mm.
when you come to ERP, that is where the issue will come. See, in CIG, it will work properly, very good. But in ERP, there it will work. Why? Because the data type will not match or the length will be bigger. So that is where it will throw up the error. So that is where you have to resolve that issue, handle that issue. So that is where our focus should be. So that is where we are going to see in our integration session that how to handle those kinds of error in ERP side through the body implementation.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
So that means all these things basically, see, I have done a lot of mistake in my projects over there. Okay. So from that particular mistake only, we will come to know, acha, this is the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. So that particular experience, we are going to share it with all of you guys. Why? Because when you will go into the project, whether you're working with CI9 or CIG, you will face issues, and we know what is the exact issues. Why? Because we have worked on the 6 projects. So I have also done my fair amount of mistakes over there, and from that I have learned a lot. So the same thing we are going to see in our session in details. What is the issue where you will basically suffer, that we are going to cover in our session, so that when you go to the project you don't suffer.
Exactly.
Yeah, any other queries, Sandeep? You can ask me.
Yes, I have one more doubt. Can you please brief me about these terms like child realm and parent realm, how the data is segregated? I mean, how the data will flow from the child realm to, I mean, parent realm to
See,
child
first of
realm.
all,
So yeah.
parent and child realm is not always used. It is generally
Mm-hmm.
used when your client is having multiple ECC instances. Let's say one ECC instance is for Europe, another ECC instance is for US. So in that case, what will happen is like you will need the child and parent realms concept over there. So how it works over there, you will have the master data in parent realm, which will be basically moved to each of the child realm. But the transactional data integration will always happen with the child realms and one instance of ECC. So you can say like Ariba Europe will connect with the ECC Europe part over there, ECC Europe instance, and Ariba US will basically connect with the ECC US instance over there. So that is how basically the things happens over there. So in parent data, in parent realm, you will always have the master data. Transactional data will be present in the child realms. But remember, only in those scenario where you're having multiple ECC instance. But right now, if you go to the project, majority of the project you're going to work, you're going to see that first, before they do the Ariba implementation, they are going to move from ECC to S4 HANA. When you move from ECC to S4 HANA, in S4 HANA, there is only one instance, not multiple instance over there. So there you will have only one instance. So one instance means what? No parent and child realms needs to be used over there. So that is why when we used to have our implementation in 2016, 2015, 2017, at that point of time we were integrating with ECC with multiple instances. Then we used to have parent and child realm. But right now it has become obsolete due to this S4 HANA. Why? Because S4 HANA can have only one instance, not more than one.
Yes, got you.
Yeah. Anything else, Sandeep?
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandeep. Yeah. Dilip, can you please go ahead with your query?
Yeah, Manoj, hi, this is Dilip. So I understand you might not be covering spend. I mean, in the sessions, you might not cover spend analysis and supply chain collaboration. So
No,
how
no,
about
spend
the
analysis. Spend analysis we are basically covering in the reporting part over there. Since most of the things with in spend analysis means ultimately working with the reporting only, you have to basically load up the data through the mass data load. So that is why data loads we are covering in the mass data load session, and in the reporting we are basically covering the reporting session. So in a short over there, you can say spend analysis reports are covered in the session. HCC we are not covering. Why? Because for HCC we are having commerce automation, so we can refer to the commerce automation. So in short, if you want to basically go to any project where you see that client is asking for direct procurement kind of thing, you can use commerce automation. Spend analysis, if they also ask, you can do with our knowledge.
Yeah, so okay, I get that, but how about financial supply chain, which has this payables and the invoice management process? So you'll be covering that, or is that outside the?
Financial supply chain module, like uh, financial supply chain module, FSCM is not part of Ariba, right?
Uh, okay, so but we have this invoice management where
Acha, ha,
the
ha, ha, ha. So invoice management. So where the invoice will be created? Yes, you are basically correct over there. We are going to discuss on this part. Why? Because I don't want to cover this thing in today's session. First and foremost thing is invoice reconciliation payment. Where it will happen? It will happen in ERP or it will happen in Ariba. That's a big question over there. So first and foremost thing, we need to understand where it will happen. So if it is happening in ERP, so we don't have to do any configuration. For that, we have to basically set up a integration scenario for that particular thing. So that is how the things happens over there. Remember, P2P process, when I'm talking about this PR, PO, ACE and GR, most of the time this will be done in Ariba buyer. But to some extent, IR payment always will happen in ERP. Invoice, it will depend. Sometimes it will happen in ERP, sometimes it will happen in Ariba over there. So all of those things we are going to discuss in our sessions.
okay, perfect. Thanks. I had another question, but somehow it slipped out of my mind. If I have it within this session, probably I'll come back.
Yeah, definitely you can come back over there, and if you want also to ask me later on also, you can ask our uh, sales consultant to have a conference call with me also over there.
Okay, perfect. That'll help me out. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Manoj.
Yeah, welcome, Dalip. Yeah, Sayed, can you please go ahead with your query?
Yes, Mohammed, thank you. Okay. Long time ago, I talked to somebody and they said that if I've got a material master in SAP saying material 220125, whatever, that is not covered in Ariba. Is that true now, or do they have enhanced? What I'm asking is, if I've got a material master, will I see that material master in Ariba and I can order through that?
Yes, you can see it, not directly, but indirectly you can see it, and yes, you can order it over there, but not in direct format. Indirectly, it will come over there.
Same question in different words. If it is a stock item, can I purchase through Ariba?
So that's a very good question over there. So stock item means basically you're talking about direct procurement, right?
Correct.
So direct procurement is only possible in Ariba with the help of integration. Either you have to buy SCC, okay, that's the first thing, or else you have to use commerce automation. Now, first and foremost thing, stock procurement, if you're going to ask over there, where the stock procurement is going to happen. Stock procurement, basically directly it will not come, it will always be planned over there. So from the MRP run it will come, right?
Yeah.
Materials requirement planning. So material requirement planning is part of which module? Not right?
PCC or
It's part of the
HANA?
PPP module. PP module mainly, right?
Yeah.
So
MM also does. MM also
yeah,
does if the stock goes below
exactly.
the pre-order point.
No, I'm talking about the MRP over there. MRP is
Yeah.
majorly a PP process over there. Some part or some aspect of it is basically associated with MM over there, but majorly it's a PP module part. So it will run in ERP over there, and then the PRPO will be created in ERP, and then the whole integration will happen. So yes, this process is called as commerce automation. You don't need an SCC to do this kind of stock procurement, consignment, subcontracting for the SCC. Without SCC also you can work, and that is called as commerce automation. You have to use commerce automation over there.
And that will not be part of our subject here.
Yeah, commerce automation is part of our sessions.
Okay.
It is a part of our
Commerce
session. In the
automation.
integration scenario, yeah, commerce automation.
Commerce automation. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. I'm muted.
Exactly. So that is what I'm saying over there, that you don't need to go for SCC. You don't need to basically say, you can say to the client, hey boss, you can save your money. You don't need to buy or pay for the subscription of SCC. Why? Because we can work with commerce automation. It will save your money, and the process will also be very much simpler.
There's no separate license for commerce automation. It's
Exactly.
part of
It's part of downstream solutions only. Part of downstream solutions.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Welcome, Sayed. Yeah. So guys, I think we are good to basically conclude our today's session. Once again, thanks Dipali and thanks Nikita and thanks Sana for basically conducting this demo session. And thanks all of you guys for participating in our demo session. We'll meet once again in our first session, and I think most probably the first session will happen on coming Monday, most probably on 7th June over there. We will basically have our first session. Okay, same timings over there. So whoever is basically interested over there, guys, our sales consultant will basically call you up. So remember to register yourself for our first session over there. You need to register for this particular session, then only will get the G Drive access folder, and then the Ariba access and all those things will be provided one after another. So my suggestion is, those of you guys who are interested in going ahead with this session, please register yourself with our BRDs or sales consultant so that you can attend our session over there. Exactly. And let's conclude our session for today, and hope to see you soon on Monday, guys. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Let's conclude our session for the day. Yeah. Bye. Bye, guys.